Welcome to Inspirational Journeys, everyone. My name is Ann Harrison Barnes, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with Wendy Ledger, who is returning to talk about her second book in her Cats of the Afterlife series. Welcome to the show, Wendy. Uh-oh. Wendy, did I lose you? Hello?
Oh, I'm so happy to be here again, Anne. Really nice to be here.
Okay, thanks. I thought I lost you there.
And I'm still here. Can you hear me? Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
good. Yeah, it just cut out for a second. All right, so if you wouldn't mind briefly introducing yourself again for new listeners and those who may have listened to the interview back in June, but since it's been about 6 months, I'd like to, if you don't mind introducing yourself
Oh,
again.
yeah. Oh, yes. I'm Wendy Ledger. I'm an author. I'm currently working on a talking cat fantasy series called Cats of the Afterlife. And I have two currently out, The Loudest Meow and The Sharpest Claw. And I'm currently working on The Deepest Growl. I almost have a first draft ready for that. And Loudest Meow and Sharpest Claw are available in paperback, ebook, and audiobook, which I'm really happy about because that's my favorite form of reading is listening to audiobooks. And I also have two other books that are coming of age stories called Joy Returns and Kate and the Horses. And I plan to get those in audiobooks soon too, hopefully. So.
Oh, good. Just let me know when
Yeah.
they come out and I'll get that. So tell me, what inspired the Sharpest Claw?
The Sharpest Claw was kind of inspired by real life in that we now have a brother and sister pair of cats here. But we originally got them as kittens. And so it was my imagining of what our calico cat in the afterlife would think about these new kittens in our household.
Wow. Yeah, I can understand that, especially after reading the book. I don't want to spoil anything, but let's just say Jim does not like the cats.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of too like in human life, like sibling rivalry, like when the baby
Mm-hmm.
comes home, everyone thinks that the baby is so adorable and can do nothing wrong. And the older, kids in the family have to figure out, have to feel comfortable with having the baby there. So that's kind of what's going on in this book.
Mm-hmm.
And also the idea that Jem was a cat who on Earth didn't learn certain things that cats usually learn, didn't learn how to play, didn't learn those kinds of things. And so here are these kittens who naturally know how to do things that she never learned how to do and trying to feel okay about that too.
Yeah. So, wow. I'm just amazed. I mean, it's hard. That book is hard to put down. I'm telling you. And correct me if I'm wrong, but middle grade kids would definitely love these books.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think that
Okay.
middle grade kids would love it, and also adults who love cats.
Mm-hmm.
But it has a lot of themes in it that I think kids would really respond to. That idea of not having learned something for whatever reason, and then just feeling left behind and trying to catch up and feeling insecure about how to do that, and trying to find a way that they can learn how to do these skills that other children seem to be able to do naturally. And also, as I just said, that idea about when other children enter your household, enter your family, and feeling trying to deal with the insecurities if you have them, or maybe you just welcome the kids in. But sometimes it's hard for older kids to deal with new arrivals.
Mm-hmm. And this would be a fun and an engaging way to kind of help them get to transition into that.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have kids in mind when you wrote these?
Uh, no, I was mostly thinking about our kittens and and our what our other cats would have thought about that who have now passed away. But there's also a story in there about the kittens and the elder cat, Rusty, and how Rusty, it was a hard transition for Rusty to make too, which was like that in our household too. Our cat, Scooter, our elder cat, had never been the kind of rock star that these kittens made him out to be when they came into our lives, and he was kind of bewildered and scared.
And that Professor Alistair Kingsley,
Oh,
he's a character.
yeah. He was one of those characters who in Loudest Meow, you just kind of hear about him, or he's like on the phone or something. You never really see him in life, and he kind of demanded to be in this book and was a big presence. Yeah.
And Marmalade,
He's a big part of it. I know.
She does not understand that writing is not always sitting in one space.
Yeah.
Oh, she's got a lot to learn. That cat has a lot to learn.
Oh, yeah. See, the next book is more about that whole thing, about writing and Marmalade and Alistair and all those things. So, yeah.
Wow. Just an amazing cast of characters, an amazing story. I mean, honestly, I love fantasies, but this one is really, these are really exciting. I mean, they're good. They're really exciting reads. So are you self-published?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
And I was really lucky in that when I did the first audiobook, The Loudest Meow, I chose Kay Danino to be my narrator for that book. And now she's going to be the narrator for all of these books that I've written so far, through the whole Talking Cat series. So it just feels so nice to have someone who really understands the stories and really cares for the characters to be the narrator. So I'm just so pleased with the job that she does.
She's really good at that. She really portrays the voices so well.
And listening to audiobooks is my favorite way of reading. So it was really important to me that I found a narrator who I felt really captured it exactly, and I feel that she does. She does such a great job.
Wow. I know, me too. So do you have anything, I know you're writing this third book, but do you have any other projects coming down the line? Or down the track?
I think this series is going to be 4 books. And after that, I want to do something with dinosaurs. Like, I'm not quite sure like what it is, whether it's going to be talking dinosaurs or whether it's going to be a book about a girl who's in love with dinosaurs. But it's going to be something about dinosaurs. So for my birthday, I got this illustrated encyclopedia of dinosaurs, and every now and again I'll open up a page and look at them. I've just always been fascinated by dinosaurs myself ever since I was little. So it's going to be something about that, I think.
Oh, so you got instant research right at your fingertips.
Yes. When I was little, I lived in Michigan, and we had this amazing thing where I had an art class after school that was in the Natural History Museum in my town. And so we would go there, and we could draw anything we wanted in the museum. And I often hung out in the dinosaur section because they had just fascinated me. So I've just always kept that with me all my life.
Wow. Okay, so other than that, I mean, we've gone over a lot of the inspirational questions, writing tips, and all that last time. So unless you have something new you want to share.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if I talked about this last time, but this time I've started using Pinterest more as kind of a beginning and an end to my writing process. So before I start finding images that remind me of characters and themes that remind me of stories that I want to write, and somehow putting them down is really fun. And it seems like it kind of helps my brain kind of figure out the story I want to write. And then when I finish, like I'm almost finished with this draft, when I finish, I'll go back to Pinterest and look at the images again to see like whether I forgot something or whether I'm inspired by something else, so that when I start the next draft, that I can use those images. So that's something. And then I guess the other thing I would say right now is that I have a day job. I'm like a writer, transcriber, editor, and I have just a lot of work to do right now. So often these days, I only have like 15 minutes or a half hour a day to write. But as a good friend told me, and she's a painter, a really wonderful painter, Glennis Henschel, even if you have 5 minutes a day to connect with your work, then you stay connected. So, just to do the best you can with how much time you have, and just make that, visit to with your characters. And so that's been really interesting to me.
Wow. And I like that too. And have you created Pinterest boards for your books?
Yeah. I think my Pinterest thing is Wendy Ledger Author. I think that's my handle.
Yeah, I think you gave me that.
Yeah, and I have boards for each one of my books, plus like a board for like childhood memories, because that's kind of like the world that I often deal with, things that really interested me as a kid. And I think I have one for favorite middle grade books too. Yeah.
Wow, I can't do Pinterest myself because it's a bit more visual, but I know Jen talks about all her Pinterest boards all the time. So before,
Oh yeah.
Okay, so would you like to tell people where they can find you online?
Oh sure. You can find me on Facebook at Wendy Ledger Author. Same thing as Instagram, Wendy Ledger Author, Twitter, Wendy Ledger Author, and Pinterest, Wendy Ledger Author. And I have a website. Guess what it is? It's www.wendyledgerauthor.com.
Right?
So those are the places that you can find me. My books are all on Amazon right now.
You're kind of like my friend Jen Lowry. She has Jen Lowry writes everywhere. Jen Lowry writes all over the place. So now I do have one more question to ask you. Would you like to leave a special Christmas wish for the listeners and viewers?
Yes. I just wish love and joy to them and their family.
Okay, now before we leave,
The holiday time is such a wonderful time for families to get together.
Right. Now I'm going to leave us with a Bible verse. It is John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. And also in the book of Matthew, Jesus says, love thy neighbor as thyself. So guys, show some love and kindness to those around you, no matter what their disability, their belief system, their cultural background. Let's be inclusive this holiday season and drop the labels. So now I'm going to close us out with a prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this time that you've given me to spend with Wendy Ledger. Father, thank you so much for this day and for your gift of salvation, Father. Be with those in need, Father, and may our words be of value to listeners everywhere. In Jesus' precious name I pray, amen. Now we challenge you today to go out there and read to get inspired, write something inspiring, and share your creation with the world. For when you've touched one life, you've touched 1,000. Thanks so much for being on Inspirational Journeys, and have a blessed day.